Hey everyone, welcome back. I want to ramble on about the massive story coming out of Pretoria this weekend, shaking South Africa to the absolute core. My X feed cannot refresh fast enough. I tell you what, President Mr. Cyril under oath in court this weekend drops a bombshell. Expropriation Act that he signed into law is illegal. I mean, in its current form, but yeah, illegal, under oath. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, because I really want to dive in to this absolutely wild confession from Cyril himself. Let's break this down. Quick recap. The Expropriation Act was supposed to return land to the rightful owners, and I'm sure the majority of us agree with that approach. If done correctly, the goal was to let government take land for public good, 100%, and sometimes without paying if it's just sitting there, neglected and abandoned buildings. The many that Lesotho refuses to acknowledge sitting in the centre of Joburg. And the fact of the matter is that this has been controversial since the beginning. AfriForum led a fight suing Cyril, saying that it was unconstitutional. And now Cyril himself agrees that it's broken. So sit with me while I have a quick little ramble about this here controversial topic. So here's the scene, right? Pretoria High Court on a Saturday, October 8th. I didn't know they did this on Saturdays. Ramaphosa's in the witness box, hand on the Bible, and he says he's going to swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. The challenger's advocate, I presume that would be AfriForum, sharp as a tack apparently, grills Cyril Ramaphosa about Article 19, which is really the procedural guts of this law, and honestly something that the ANC isn't capable of understanding or putting into place. Ramaphosa, he doesn't even dodge. I can't believe. And this is what he says from his affidavit, I quote, Article 19 is unworkable. Unworkable. You don't say. So this is the part that tells the municipalities how to negotiate, how to set the compensation, and how to handle disputes. But there's a whole loop. Bureaucracy, nightmare. I mean, what do you expect from politicians at the end of the day? You know, you negotiate, you determine, you dispute, and then what do you go back to negotiations again? A circle and a circle and a circle, which is sort of also how the ANC operate. I mean, they've been running in circles about transformation for 31 years, and it looks like we'll be doing land reform for another 31 years. You know, leave it up to the ANC and nothing gets done. He admitted under oath that it wasn't just flawed, that it was illegal. I mean, thanks, Cyril. Why? Because it violates the Constitution, which demands for clear, enforceable processes. Section 25 of our Constitution says expropriation must be just and equitable. But now, if it's all stuck in a loop because you keep going back to negotiating and disputing, now how's that just? Because essentially the farmers, the black and the white farmers, they're waiting while you're all arguing in court and paying each other salaries. The people who make our food, who are the most vulnerable, are sitting and waiting for you to sort out your bureaucratic bull. The Act says negotiate first, always, no compensation, only for derelict stuff, abandoned mines that are poisoning rivers. Why are we not talking about that? Unused estates, the buildings in the center of Joburg. See, but the thing is, it's easier just to let people take new land than for the government to put in the work to reform the derelict and the destroyed, which also, by the way, is the consequence of their 31 years of inaction. So the consequences of their 31 years of inaction is coming back to bite them. And now they just want to put a new law into place, because you know how they love to just add one on top of the next, on top of the next, is to now and try and make it that we can just take land, productive land most like. It's kind of like the government profits off the productive, profitable private industry. The wild part about this is that it's the process of the law that's a mess. It's not about the reform. So now at the end of all of this, Ramaphosa's admission is absolutely huge and rightfully taking over X. I mean, he actually says, we tried, but we fumbled. Under these circumstances, I would like to say, trying, Cyril, isn't good enough. Not after 31 years. So now he says all of this, courtroom buzzing, journalists rushing around like crazy little chickens without their heads, cameras flashing. The poor judge, she's screaming for everyone to get into order. And the opposition parties, of course, are eating this like a 5-star Michelin meal. DAEFF, they're all trying to take the glory. They're all trying to take the glory, calling it a win. And yes, it is a win. Thank you for making those statements. Now, the flip side of this, because Cyril must always refer to the people, my people, our people. He didn't back down on the why of the land reform. He actually says, because accountability never sits squarely on any one person's shoulders, this isn't my legacy, it's the people's. Yeah, but your incompetence is unable to fulfill the legacy you've promised the people who voted for you for 31 years. So don't shunt accountability that all of this wasn't for you, it was the people's. Kind of like the national dialogue. Oh no, this has nothing to do with me, it's the people's. And now we know nothing about it. You've told the people to be quiet. That's the end result of the national dialogue, is we're not doing this anymore because the people have spoken. We didn't like what they said. And please, can we all forget about this? Also, thanks, I now have enough money to fund next year's elections, said the ANC. So he's actually now 55,999 court cases. No, we must rewrite Article 19 or declare it unconstitutional and send it back to Parliament. Yeah, listen, Soul, Mr. Squirrel Man, that's what we've been saying since the beginning. Let me ask you one question. What's the difference between when you signed it and now? I mean, the one thing that's changed for sure is that your voting stats look shocking. And the other big thing that happened, I don't know, Trump got involved. The USA got involved. It's not Trump specifically. He just has the balls to actually say the stuff that the Democrats are too girly girl to say about. So like I've mentioned, X is on fire. This is going to go two ways: spark protests or heal the nation. And we're so frustrated at the moment. I feel like protests are going to, sitting at a 70% here. I don't know, guys. What do you think? I would love to hear what you think about protests or healing. Where are we at here in South Africa? Drop a comment. Regardless, this is history. This is history unfolding on multiple levels. The police thing, the Cyril's land reform thing, like all the things. There's just so much things. Will this start to at least fix land reform? Can we start moving beyond this issue, which the ANC have ignored for 31 years? Because otherwise we're going to sit in the cycle of trauma forever. We cannot allow this to deepen the divide. So do you think that the US trade agreements because this was one of the stipulations, the bone of contention in terms of trade and tariffs. Do you think that this has played a role in the sudden turnaround, from a man who's always shocked? He seems very decisive. And I always look and I'm like, what made him change direction 180 degrees? Almost, almost overnight, honestly, almost overnight. The US trade agreements, because we've been seeing a couple of articles saying that, trade agreements are heating up. Parkstown actually said it's difficult and uncomfortable. That's what he said. I'm like, yo, you don't say parksy parks, dude, because that's called business. That's called opposition. That's called deal making. Not everybody likes to bend over backwards to the will of the repressed. The court ruling still coming, but I do have to say that any progress at this stage is good progress, and we really should celebrate the small wins. On my closing note, I'm just like, how much has this cost us, the taxpayer? He signed that law at the end of 2024, am I right? And it's almost the end of 2025. How much has this cost us? 10 months of lawyers and judges and meetings. And I mean, meetings are time, and time is money. So for every meeting, my lawyer has to sit in some law to discuss whatever. It's costing somebody money. And from the state side, I presume that's from my pocket and your pocket. So as good as this is, I'm still a little frustrated because A, thanks for wasting our time. Thanks for putting South Africa through that highly embarrassing White House moment, shocked and all. And now you turn 180 degrees. Now, what about the damage you've done over the last 10 months to the brand of South Africa, to the economy, to your own party? But I mean, we know nobody in the party cares about anybody else. That's my ramble for today, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more breakdowns of this type. Don't forget to hit the like and share. Drop a comment. I really want to know what you think about this. So is Cyril Ramaphosa's admission, is it going to move us towards justice? Or do you think this is an absolute political fumble? I'll post a poll this week as well. Interested in hearing what your thoughts are, guys. Also, please let me know how the audio and video quality is. I'm working through all of those issues. There's a lot to learn, I must tell you. And I do this all myself. Record, research, script, edit, all myself. So thanks for sticking with me. I really do appreciate the support while my audio and video has been a little challenging. So let me know, please. I'm very curious. Appreciate all of you. Have a great day, guys. Over and out.